Hello everyone, Henrik Karapetyan here at Violin Outside the Box with Dr. K. And this is going to be a video about improvisation, directed mostly towards the audiences who may be like classically trained players who are looking to start improvising, start getting into the world of improvisation and need some kind of advice to start. I've noticed that many incredible players, very well-trained classical players, often have this fear of adding an extra note here and there or starting the improvisation. It seems, to a lot of them it seems like a world that it's just impossible to break through, and that's not the case really. You just have to start at some point. So I'm going to try to make a video that is aimed to that audience, but also for anyone who's interested in different perspectives on improvisation. The tune that I just played, it was actually an improvisation on a melody called Home in the Morning. It's an Appalachian tune that's in Dorian mode. In another video I'll talk a little bit more about differences between modal and tonal music. But that's actually, knowing that is going to be important, that knowing what mode it is in or what key, it's very important for improvisation. That's actually the first step that I take. So I'm going to go ahead and start. The video may be a little too long, in which case I'll just separate it to a few videos. And at the end there'll be a track of a recording of myself and a great friend, cellist Martin Torch Ishii, playing this tune together. We've performed it many times and really enjoyed working on it. So here it is. The main tune sounds like this. Itself is very simple, which actually gives the per player, violinist or any other instrumentalist, a lot of different possibilities. What I do first, I figure out what key it is, and well, it ends on A, so it's probably an A, and it sounds sad, so it's probably minor, but then we observe that there is that F sharp there, so it sounds like it's a melodic minor, but then it doesn't have that G sharp, sharp 7, so it's sharp 6 and then low 7 and then goes to the tonic. And this is what what I meant when I said it's kind of a mode. It's again called the Dorian mode. I practiced the scale a little bit in the beginning. G, and maybe even playing the G, the lower G, just going through the whole scope of the notes in the first position. And then when I was looking at the piece, when I read through it, it was written in a simple form, but then the last line was which actually was the last line of my improvisation too. That was actually written out, and I realized, oh, that's a pentatonic scale, which is a scale that has only 5 notes. It's like playing on black keys on the piano. It gives it a pentatonic scale. So kind of fixed that in my mind too, because I'm going to use these exact notes later for improvisation. So after figuring out what key we're in, or what mode we're in, and practicing just the scale a little bit, I go to the first note, or first measure. I have an A as a quarter note, 2 8 notes, A, B, and then A, G, 8 notes, and then another quarter note, E. So here it is. Now, we used to do a number of variations on it, or improvisations on it, but I'm going to just demonstrate one of them. Again, I'm going to take it from that tune that I played in the beginning and go with that. That was the last variation. So in that one, I'm just multiplying the number of notes per beat. first beat we have an A. It's just one A. So I start here. What if I play 16th notes there? Yeah, instead of just a quarter note. So I go. Okay. And what if I just play 16th notes all over that first measure? Then it'll sound like this. Yeah. Those of you who have gone through Suzuki training, I haven't, but I'm very closely familiar with the method and the books. You know, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And then the variation goes. Basically multiplying the notes, right? Same principle here. Instead of we go. That's not interesting enough though, so I'm just going to change the notes. And I'm going to use the notes of the scale that I already studied a little bit. So instead of, I might go, yep, or I can use pretty much any notes that I want within that scale. Yeah. So in my case it was that. So for the next two notes, yeah, that up bow 8 notes. You know what we're doing. I'm still gonna play 16th notes, but again, just change the notes. So instead of, we'll do, let's say. So now we have the original was. Yeah, let's go on. The original is A, G, and E. Do I have to play these notes? Do I even have to stay on the string? No, not at all. So yeah, I can choose any other notes. Yeah, within that mod, within the scale, this is why it's so important to actually just play some exercises, just go through all the scale in the beginning. So now it sounds, but if I just play 16th note, it's a little bit dry. That's fun, but something else maybe we can do with it. So this is where the variations with the bowing comes. Alright, so I'll try to explain this as best as I can. Instead of playing, right now I have 16 16th notes. So I have 4 beats, yeah, each of them 4 notes. So it's, if I count. If I play everything separate like that, it's still interesting, but not as interesting as it can get. Because different types of bowing, especially syncopated bowings, make everything much more interesting. So here's what I came up with. We have groups of 8 notes. Ta 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 ta. We can accent them differently, like pa 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 every other note, or maybe every 4 note. Ta 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 ta. But the 8 divides not only to 2s and 4s, it divides also to 3, 3, and 2. Yeah? So the accents can be, the notes that can be accented will be the 1st note, 4th note, and the 7th note. It's going to sound like this. And that's actually really, really interesting with it, and it almost makes you want to dance. This kind of division of the 4/4 rhythm, regular rhythm, is very common in many styles. I play a lot of klezmer music. Anytime you play Bulgar or Freilach, which is kind of the same thing, it's, and it sounds so much fun. It's just really 4/4. It's just a simple. Looks like I'm making a crucifix. No, I'm just counting until 4. So anyway, I hope this makes sense, and I can do it a little bit with the bowings here. Also, I'm altering the bowings. 2 separate. I'm sorry, 2 slurred, 1 separate, and then 1 separate, 2 slurred. It's like a mirror image. And last 2 notes, a little separated. This is getting a little complicated now. So I divided the 8, I'm just still talking about the accents, I divided the 8 to groups of 3, 3, and 2. That last 2 I'm always playing with separate bows. The first triplet, first 3 notes, I'm using 2 notes down, 1 up. Second triplet, or 3 notes, I'm using 1 note down, 2 up. They look like a mirror image. So it looks like this. And I'm accenting, and notice I'm actually always playing a double stop when I accent. That's another layer of fun on top of all of this. Yeah. So that's just the first measure. Now, how do I get it to that speed? Just simple. You just play it enough number of times. Well, then there is a next measure. Yeah, so I'm not going to play this note. It's still an A minor, or in the mode of Dorian, A Dorian mode. So I'm going to go. Actually, going to the 5 of that. Going to a G major for a little bit, even though the tune doesn't have it. But you can still do that, I think. You know, you can still, you don't have to religiously follow the harmonic structure of the tune, especially if the whole first section is in just has one harmony. You can change it a little bit during the improvisation. So now we have. Yeah. I don't have to necessarily play all of this really slowly, because you can use your own improvisation. We get the concept, and then I get bored of just playing 16th notes. So and that's the measure that goes. So that measure, third measure, is almost identical to the first measure, but I'm playing entirely different passage there. I did a little trick there that I didn't invent it. Well, I did for myself. I'm sure people have done this before, but I haven't seen it. So it goes like this. It's just an A minor chord, and then I'm plucking the strings with my left hand pinky. I'm playing a G chord. Here's how you practice that. Down, down, up, pluck, down, and again. It's fun to do that, you know, especially when you're actually able to do it. It's just, it's a little bit childish, I agree, but adrenaline, you know, rush when you can do that. And that's the first run of it. And then it repeats, and when it repeats, I'm just doing a little bit of different improvisation, different notes, yeah? So that's the first part of it, basically. And the second part, relatively simple again. It's that's basically it. I think in the beginning, when I was showing this original melody, I might have played a different part B, but you know, not too different, maybe just added a couple of notes. So this one, instead of I go. So what am I adding? Instead of I go, it's still the same chord, yeah? And then that's an E chord, E minor chord. So I'm just playing some notes. Most of them are part of the chord, some of them are part of the mode that I'm in. adding some double stops. Also the bowing. You can do that too, you know, the multitude of different types of bowings that can make it interesting. This, kind of a cool little turn. The original is, that's it. So you can add a lot of things to it, a couple of chords. Or you can say just a pedal point, you're playing some notes over it instead of just doing the boring. So, yeah. And then next time. There's a G chord, it's not there. Drop a chord, it's not a problem, it's just an A. Just some chords, basically arpeggios. An octave here. And this one is a little simpler version of that, just bow. Flat the string a little bit for effect. At the very end, that was actually written in the score, and I'm looking like this a little bit because I have a score here in front of me, trying to use as a reference. It's very difficult to teach improvisation because you don't want to tell people exactly what you do, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm trying to just give you this main idea without necessarily without necessarily asking you to copy exactly the notes, the same notes that I do. And this was only one way of improvising, which is basically the main principle here was just multiplying the number of notes per measure. Yeah, or if you have like a long A, quarter note A, playing for 16th notes. So that was a general way that I was improvising here. There are many other ways. You can even diminish the number of notes. For example, Paganini, 24th Caprice, one of the variations goes. You know, beautiful melody, but you know, significantly less number of notes there, so it's just a different way of approaching it. I think this will be all for this variation. I can be much more effective in my teaching in person. So if you're interested in lessons and instruction, if you're a classical musician looking for ways to start improvising, not only in you know, fiddle playing, in country, in all kinds of American fiddle styles, but also I play a lot of Celtic music, I play klezmer music, Eastern European, Balkan music, and a few other styles, a little bit of Latin American too, tangos and stuff. So I will be glad to help you. There is a link in the description that will help you contact me. Meanwhile, please subscribe to the channel to see more of these videos and put a little like. And I'm going to follow this up with another video of an actual recording of a home performance of this tune called Home in the Morning. Thank you for listening. This was Henrik Karapetyan and Violin Outside the Box with Dr. K. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Hey again, it's Duo Mosaic back in the attic of 1426 Brooklyn, the regular practice place, right? So we're going to do some improvisations on a country tune. Yeah?